Have you graduated from a boot camp recently, or maybe not so recently, maybe over a year ago, and you're still looking for your first junior dev job? Maybe you're looking to change careers, but you're still kind of stuck in your old job because you can't find something that's full-time for you to be able to jump into the dev world and really give it everything that you've got, and you just haven't been able to find that right job to be able to do that yet. Well, there are lots of ways that you can actually earn money while still building your skill set and still growing your skill set into a junior developer and a mid-level developer, even without having a full-time development job. Today, I want to share just 3 kind of crazy off-the-wall ideas that you should consider as potential opportunities for you to both continue learning and growing your skill set, but also earn some money from that process of growing your skill set. Plus, I'll show you how these crazy ideas not only grow your skills, but might even open up opportunities for employment in the future. Hey Junior Devs, Dev Mentor Dave here, helping you bridge the gap from learning to code to launching a successful career. And I'm sure you've probably thought of all kinds of different ways that you could try to earn money while you're still learning, while you're still trying to get that first full-time junior dev job. I'd love to hear about them, so share some of them below in the comment section. So what do most people recommend junior developers do who have a hard time getting their first job to still earn some money on the side? The first option is a paid internship, which honestly doesn't usually pay a whole lot, often isn't even a full-time gig. The second option is a part-time job, which honestly most companies I've worked for don't even hire part-time developers, so I don't know how viable that one actually is. The third popular piece of advice is to just do freelance work. Go out there and to Upwork or some other website and put your information out there and try to bid on jobs. The problem with that is most of the time you're going to get underbid by somebody else willing to do the work for less. And probably the most popular one is just start your own business. They usually tell you to come up with a project that you think that you can sell, that you can get other people to pay you to use. And while that sounds great, that's a lot of work and you have to have a lot of different skill sets to actually make that take off. So if those options aren't working for you, maybe it's time to think outside the box just a little bit. And the question that I ask is, what are some ways that we can help companies fill a need that they maybe even don't know they have while still giving us a way to make money as well as a way to grow our skill set? I've worked with a lot of different companies over my tenure as a developer, both working by myself as a freelancer as well as working for companies as an employee and as a contractor. Most of the places that I've worked for have been small businesses. I have worked on a few jobs for larger companies, but most of them for small businesses. And one of the things that I've noticed about small businesses especially is there's not a lot of time and not a lot of effort usually put into providing quality assurance. Usually budgets are very tight and we have to move quickly, and there just isn't a place in the process for a QA department, especially somebody full-time, because that's a lot of money to pay somebody to just sit there and test. And a lot of companies just don't have that kind of extra cash laying around. The problem with that is, as developers, we tend to take what is known as the happy path. We tend to take the path of least resistance, the thing that we know should work when we're testing our own work. And that's a problem, something that we shouldn't do. We should be better testers of our own work. And really, we should be doing some sort of test-driven development so that we have some automated testing in place. But unfortunately, that often isn't the case either. So the reality is that a lot of development gets done in a lot of places without a lot of testing. And oftentimes that testing falls to the customer, and it comes back to the development team in the form of bug tickets and angry customers and things that are not working correctly, all because things really didn't get tested well before they got pushed out. So my first crazy idea for earning while learning is to become a technical QA. Now, QA just stands for quality assurance. So what we're looking to do is be a technical person, somebody who has development skills, who's also going to QA, who's going to test the code that's being put out there. Now, most QA people don't usually have a technical background, and so they just find an error or an issue and they send the ticket back. But with a technical QA, you could be somebody who has some learning and has some training, and now you can go in and you can investigate deeper than a normal QA person would be able to do. So from a service offering standpoint, you're able to give a company something that they probably don't even have, and you're able to give them some technical expertise. When you send a ticket back, you can have already dug into the issue and maybe find where in the code the problem is, and you can give that information to the developers, and the developers can fix it faster because they already have a place to look. They already have some information to kind of direct them down the right path. There are kind of three benefits or ways that you can learn and grow in doing this type of role. The first benefit is that you kind of get to see what that development cycle looks like. You get to be a participant in it. You get to see how things go from a ticket to development to a QA process to a rework process, and then back to you and testing again, and then going out to a develop environment or a staging environment or production. You get to be a part of that life cycle and actually watch how that actually works in real life, so that when you go into a job as a developer, you understand both the development side and you understand the QA side, and you can even communicate better with QA. There's a lot of times a lot of headbutting between developers and QA, and if you have experience on both sides, that can really help you with that communication process. Another way this helps you is you can learn how to read tickets and understand tickets maybe better than other junior developers who are just jumping straight into a job. So you can read a ticket and you'll learn how to follow the process and understand what the ticket is saying should be done, and then go and see if it actually is done. And if it's not done, then you've got the opportunity to dig into it and figure out why, and see if there's a bug or see if there's something that was missed. But probably the best benefit of this crazy idea is that you get to do the one thing that's really going to help you the most as a developer, and that is work with bugs. So if you set up your process to where you actually get to do some digging and figure out the bugs and figure out potential ways of fixing those bugs, that's one of the best things for you as a developer. That really is the difference between a junior developer and a senior developer. Somebody who can go in quickly and find the bug and fix the bug, that's the senior developer. And a junior developer is going to take a lot longer to do that. So the more you can grow your skills at finding bugs and fixing bugs, the better off for your career in the future. So what's the second crazy idea for a junior developer to earn while learning? Well, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to teach some junior developers in a boot camp style class. We were teaching some basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, some of the same stuff that you probably learned in your boot camp. And as I was going through, as I was teaching those different things, I was given specific instruction materials that they wanted me to teach. So there was a specific book and group of lessons they wanted me to teach for HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Now, I've been a developer for a long time, so I know how to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, WordPress, all these things that were part of this class. But what was really interesting about teaching that class is, as I was going through the material to make sure that I was covering everything that they wanted me to cover, I found things that I had completely forgotten about HTML and about CSS and about JavaScript and jQuery and WordPress. Like, I've been using these things for over 15 years professionally, and I was finding things in this book that I was like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that. So one of the crazy things that you can do, even as a junior developer, as somebody who's gone through even limited training, is you can offer private tutoring. Even though you're just a boot camp graduate and you've just learned this stuff yourself, you still have more knowledge than somebody who's just starting out fresh. And maybe they don't have the money to join a boot camp. They don't have the same opportunities to get involved in a learning program like you were able to be involved in, but they can afford a little bit of money to pay you to help tutor them. Well, you don't have to know everything. There's books out there to help you go through the process. And what's interesting is, as you're going through the process, you'll be re-solidifying things that you've learned, or potentially learning things that you still didn't know even after your boot camp. So you can earn through private tutoring, and while you're doing that, you're solidifying your learning, your understanding of the material. And in order to do that, you're going to have to spend time studying. It's going to force you to take the time to to learn and relearn and test. You're going to have to come up with your own examples, and you should create your own examples and create your own ways of displaying how these different things work so that you continue the process of using these skills there in your tutorials, in your private tutoring. Now, maybe the thought of teaching somebody else the skill set is a little intimidating, and I totally get that. Not everybody is built to be a teacher. But there's still one more crazy idea I have for junior developers to be able to earn while learning. See, when I was a junior developer, this is exactly how I got into development full-time. Ever since high school, I've been doing web development just as kind of a hobby on the side and learning different things as I went along throughout the years. And I was working in a call center, taking calls, and we had some notebooks full of information. It really got laborious, and I didn't like dealing with that notebook. And I thought, you know what? There's got to be a better way to do this. Surely I can take the skills that I have and put all this information into a website or into an application that we can search, that we can do something with so that we can find the information faster. So that's what I did. I actually asked my boss if I could spend some time off the phones working on developing this little application, and it ran off of my computer when it probably shouldn't have. Don't tell the security people. But it ran off of my computer, and other people on my team connected to my computer, and they were able to pull up the application and use it. And from there, somebody else in a different call center group found out that I knew how to write little programs. And so they asked me to write another little program to keep track of some information on the calls that they were taking. And then I got another opportunity with a different group to write another application that would actually print out PDF reports, and they would actually send those reports to some very influential people in the client's company. And so that's literally how I began being a developer. And from there, I got moved into a different position dealing with some new software that we were bringing in. And from there, I ended up leaving that company to be a developer full time. So while this job sounds crazy or maybe even like something that could never happen, it actually happened to me. That's literally how I got into doing this. So how does this benefit you? Well, first of all, it helps you find problems and find solutions. And really, as developers, that's what we do. We take a problem and we find a solution writing code. And the best part is this can work for companies that are not even development companies. Like I said, I was taking phone calls in a call center, so it had nothing to do with being a part of a development company. But I was able to create a niche and kind of create a job, so to speak, for myself because I saw a need and I found a way to fix it with software. Now, this could work for all kinds of different companies and all kinds of different situations. If you see a problem with your process, something that could be made faster with a little bit of software that you develop, maybe develop it on the side, or if you can get them to pay you to go ahead and build that like I did, that's always an option as well. And you never know, you might actually create a job for yourself at that company. And the best part about that is you're actually building experience that you can put on a resume, because now you have a technical job that is on your resume as a technical development job. So that's the 3 crazy ideas I have for how junior developers can earn and learn. Well, hopefully these 3 ideas are helpful to you, or maybe just spark some ideas for you as you're thinking about how you can earn and learn even without having a full-time job. Now, I have to say, one of the reasons why you're probably struggling with your job search and feeling discouraged is because somewhere along the way, you probably bought into one of the 3 big lies that junior developers often, unfortunately, believe. But the good news is, once you know the lies, even if you were tricked by them, you can still equip yourself to succeed. Check out this video to learn the 3 biggest lies junior developers believe and how you can still succeed. Thanks for joining me today, and if this has been helpful to you, please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified the next time we upload a video, and I'll see you on the next one.